Next one down is from Mark, and Mark wants to know if I have a couple of memorable anecdotes from Dr. Deming. I have tons of them. He wants to know specifically about the factory floor. I'm going to give you a couple of them that are kind of unique because Dr. Deming, I can babble on about him for hours. So the first one comes from when I was on the factory floor with him in a big crowd, and one of the foremen or somebody had heard a question from the hourly guy saying when was it time for him to make the decision to shut off the assembly line, and this was something that we were experimenting with at Ford at the time, and we were looking to have the operators be in charge of whether or not a product was going to be correct for the customer. And anyway, the very eager foreman kind of didn't give Dr. Deming a chance to answer that question. He just jumped up and said, "Never. You guys are nothing more than," I can't remember the exact words, but let's just say monkeys. You guys are nothing more than monkeys on the assembly line. You have to leave decisions like this to people who know what they're talking about. And then Dr. Deming stopped him from saying any more, and he said something along the lines of, "Young man, I look at you and me, and I see that you are, compared to my intellect, you would be a monkey, and yet I let you talk." And I can't remember what happened after that, except that everybody started laughing their ass off. Dr. Deming was very good at diffusing situations where some people thought that they were king of the world, and really and truly, we're all just human beings here. Another one that I liked wasn't on the factory floor, but it's probably the most memorable story that I have of Dr. Deming. And we were doing a speech together. He was talking first about the factory floor stuff and whatnot, and this was at General Motors. And then I was following up after him to talk about what we were doing on the EV1 and some other projects that were under design at GM at the time. Anyway, Dr. Deming had wrapped up, talked about all kinds of things, and he had taken questions, and a guy came up to the mic, and he said something along the lines of Dr. Deming, what do you think of the new Lopez arrangements where we are just going after the lowest possible price and never minding any of these relationships and whatnot that we had in the past? And I was wondering if you could comment on that. And Dr. Deming looked down at the podium and he said something along the lines of, "I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your question." Now, Dr. Deming was close to being stone deaf, but the guy said it loud enough and whatnot. I was sure he could probably hear him, so I was waiting. And the guy repeated his question, and Dr. Deming said, I really, I don't know what you're talking about," or something like that. And then the guy asked it a third time, and he looked down at the podium and he said, "Fools." And everybody stopped breathing, and the guy said, "I beg your pardon?" He said, "Do you hang around with fools?" And the guy, the questioner, said, "Well, no, Dr. Deming, I don't." He said, "Then why are you treating your suppliers, your partner suppliers, as fools? Why would you do that? Why would you want to steal their profit so to make yourself look good?" That one went on for quite a while. But in essence, what he was saying was he didn't care much for Mr. Lopez at all. He was always throwing the I don't know what you'd call it, but the MBA way of business. He was always throwing it under the bus. He really did not care much at all for the adversarial relationship that suppliers and OEMs had. That's changed. It goes back and forth, but it's definitely not the same as what it was in the Lopez era at General Motors. Anyway, thank you, and let's be safe out there. Make sure you tip those cashiers, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.